Well, the time has come, everybody. It is August 6th, and I'm officially announcing my retirement from the National Hockey League. But it's not a sad day. It's a great day. It's a celebration day, you know, because 20 years of the most unbelievable career that I could ever have wished for, a better career than most athletes could ever wish for. I cannot believe the people I've played with, the cities I've played in, and the things that I've accomplished. It has been an unbelievable 20 years. But my body can't handle it anymore. You know, I can't do the things that I used to do at the level that I used to do them. The body, it just doesn't want to do it anymore. I've taken a beating. I've given a beating. My head's taken a lot of whacks, although I'm still passionate about the game. I love the game. But it's time for me to step aside and make room for a young guy to come in and start his career. But 20 years. Wow! That's a long time. Back in '88, at the draft, I would not step on the scale. My agent and I said, we will not step on the scale for fear that the teams are going to see how much I weighed coming out of high school. They said, no way they're going to draft me. There's no way. So I wouldn't step on the scale. But you know what? I got drafted 8th overall by Chicago thanks to Jack Davison. Jack Davison, if you're watching, thank you so much for taking a chance on me, and Chicago for taking a chance on me. And then I walked into that locker room, 158 pounds, no hair on my body, never had a stitch, 158 pounds, and now I'm in a room with grown men with hair all over their chest, no teeth, receding hairlines, and some of them 3 times my size. You think I was scared? Deathly scared. Deathly afraid. But you know who changed that? Mike Keenan changed that. He was the first coach that I had in the National Hockey League in Chicago, and he scared the dickens out of me. He once grabbed me by my throat when we were playing in Kalamazoo. We were playing in Minnesota. He grabbed me on the bench by my throat and said, if you don't finish your check, if you don't hit that guy next time, you will never play a game for me in the National Hockey League. And I almost was so scared, I almost cried on the bench. So for fear of my career, I went on the ice, I started hurling my body at everything I could possibly get at. 158 pounds, skating as hard as I can, throwing my body from one side to the other, just crushing guys. And you know who enjoyed that? The fans. You kind of grasped the way I played, and every time I hit somebody, you guys erupted. And that became my shtick. That became my stigma. That's what I did. That became my personality on the ice. And I could score goals at the same time. So it was an unbelievable involvement for me. It was just Mike Keenan. Thank you so much for being the tough Mike Keenan. I know you're a little different now, but being the tough Mike Keenan that scared me into being the player I am. And some of the players that I played with in Chicago, I mean, how can I you know, Doug Wilson, Denny Savard, Steve Larmer, Michel Goulet, Chris Chelios, the guys who brought me up. One of my greatest things that happened to me in Chicago was being able to play with Tony Amonte, a guy that I grew up with since I was 9 years old. We played high school together. We dominated the high school together. He was my right winger, and I got to play with him in Chicago. He was my roommate. We were best friends, and we dominated the National Hockey League together. It was one of my greatest things that's ever happened to me in the National Hockey League was playing with Tony Amonte. So thanks, Tony, for that, too. Then I got moved. I got moved in 1996. I got traded. No, it was part Mr. Wirtz's fault, part my fault, but we didn't see eye to eye, so I got traded to Phoenix. And Mr. Burke brought me here to Phoenix. And then I had to come to the desert and teach all these people in the desert what hockey was all about. Keith Kachuk and Teppo Newman and some of my greatest friends and greatest people I've ever played with. We had to teach everybody in the desert about what slap shots were, what icings were, to come to America West Arena, and they came in droves. We had the whiteout in America West Arena. It was probably one of the most awesome spectacles to watch in the playoffs, a sea of white, and we gave them a great show every time we were here, and we made hockey probably the #1 sport in the desert. So that was a pretty cool experience. Went to Philly. Now this is where it gets crazy. I go to Philly, and I'm telling you what, I have never in my life played in front of a city with more passion, with more rant, more grit, more excitement than in Philadelphia. Chicago was unbelievable. The Chicago Stadium was unbelievable, trust me, the best scene of all time. But the fans in Philly were passionate, almost to a fault. They would boo Santa Claus, I'm telling you. And the way that they looked at the game and the way that I played the game, it was a perfect match. And every time I came onto that ice, those fans went crazy. Every time I was on the street, those fans went crazy. And I cannot thank you enough the way that you guys brought me in and made me one of yours in Philly. Mr. Schneider. Do you remember when I hugged Mr. Schneider? He signed me that big contract. When do you ever see a player hug an owner? That was awesome. Mr. Schneider, one of the greatest owners in all of sports. That was a cool moment. Some of the players in Philly, Rick Tocchet, he was the reason why I went there. He was one of my best friends that I made in the National Hockey League. He brought me to Philly. Keith Primo, probably one of the best dominant players I've ever seen in a playoff round or a playoff season like he had in 2004. Absolutely unbelievable. Mark Recchi, I mean, I can keep going. Some of my greatest friends. And then the lockout came, and I let myself go, and then I went over to LA, and I played a year in LA. That wasn't so good, but LA is a great team. I had some great players there that I played with. Luc Robitaille, one of the best left wingers of all time. I got to play with Luc Robitaille. And you know what? If any of you guys ever met Luc Robitaille, he's a better person than he was a player. I'm really fortunate that you are my friend, Luc. And then I went on back to Phoenix, where they accepted me again. I was kind of on the downslide of my career, wasn't playing so good, wasn't getting treated the way I wanted to, but Phoenix brought me here anyway. And the fans were great. I got to live at home. Phoenix was my home. It's been my home for a long time, and I kind of had a so-so year. Now I'm on a downslide of my career, and who comes to my rescue? Doug Wilson, one of my greatest friends and first roommate, and the San Jose Sharks, who, in my opinion, are probably the best organization from top to bottom that I played with in my career. The ownership, the trainers, the players, the fans, the town, they really know how to treat their players. From top to bottom, the amenities, the way, just, they rekindled my life. They rekindled my spirit. They rekindled my love for the game. They gave me my life back. San Jose, the fans, the team, Doug Wilson, you guys gave my life back. You gave my respectability back, and you gave me the love of the game back. So I thank you so much for doing that. But it's been unbelievable. I got to play with Joe Thornton, Patrick Marleau, Nabokov. I mean, I can go on and on and on and talk about all the friends that I made in the game and people that I'm going to still be friends with. Travis Green, Stéphane Matteau, oh my gosh, Brian Marchment. These guys are my friends forever. You fans are my friends forever. I can't thank you enough for what you've done for me, and I will continue to give back because this is Roenick life now. We're going to do a lot more things. I'm going to have a lot more time on my hands now, guys, so stay tuned on Roenick life. Got a lot of nice things coming out. Got some businesses you can get involved in, got some giveaways, lots of video. Check out my videos because there's nobody anymore that can tell me what to say and what not to say. So members only, you're going to hear a lot. Trust me. You're going to hear some things that the NHL is not going to like, that some people won't like here, some of the players won't like, but I'll tell you like it is, and I'll tell you the truth, and I'll make you laugh. So stay on Roenick Life, check out my new ventures, and I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart because it's time that I become a father and a husband and live my life with my family here in Arizona or wherever it may take me and look back at a career that was not only special on the ice, but you guys made it special off the ice. Thanks a lot.